What's happening, family? It is your man CRB Jr. here at Big Boss Filmworks. Maybe our inaugural episode of Big Boss Filmworks Wide World of Sports episode.
Oh, right.
We'll have to see what happens once it gets to the editing room. And as always, to my left is my man and my partner, the man, Big Lou Stevens. How you feeling, family?
What up? What up, man?
You got a lot going on.
It's a lot going on, brother. It's exciting time to be alive.
Exciting time to be alive. We're gonna
I want everybody to understand.
We're gonna get into Chad Okocinco in 1 minute, but not this minute. We won't expose our anonymity because we live in goofy times. But
Yeah.
your daughter's graduating from college this week.
Yes, she is.
Congratulations.
Yes, she is. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You know,
Yes.
we black men, and I know her mom, and I think highly of her mom.
Yes, indeed.
But
yes,
you
indeed.
have been, and it should be said, a stellar example. You have raised that young lady
Thank you.
and your family, and in these goofy times, and sometimes we see what we talk about how our young people behave, but when you see like what your daughter went up there and went up to school and handled her business
did her thing.
efficiently and promptly, and
Big time.
as a member of the village, and when I say the village, you guys
'Cause it
are familiar
definitely
with,
took a village.
It takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
The whole village is really, really proud.
Thank you. Thank
Really
you. Thank
proud
you. It
of her.
means a whole lot, man. I mean, this right here is a defining moment for the Stevens family, and I mean, you know, I couldn't be more proud. I
No,
couldn't
no,
be.
you
Ray,
should.
if you watch this, because it's gonna wind up clipped up. I love you. You did your thing, baby.
Yes, you did, and we are all, you do us all so proud.
Absolutely.
Long way from butter pecan milkshakes and slices of pizza.
That's right. Because she got her start right at this man's ice cream shop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's I knew those lessons would pay off well. So that's all good. We're a family. We here at Big Boss Filmworks are a family company.
That's right.
We despite of past, some people that we come from, capping up of jive, as they said in New York.
Right.
Despite
Right.
Of, in the end, we believe in family values,
That's right.
hard
right.
work,
day.
education,
Yes.
structure.
Yes.
Because those are still,
Integrity.
Those are still the building blocks of success. So we got a couple things we wanted to chime into. We don't do sports often here, guys. And I don't want, I know the comment sections with all you people who played grade school and high school sports with me, I'm going to be honest. I don't talk about sports, even though I'm a sports fan.
Mm-hmm.
I was the quintessential average athlete. I wasn't very, very good at any sport, but I was okay at every sport. Right?
Right.
I was.
You were a sports journeyman.
Right? No. I was the quintessential. He always gonna make the team, but he ain't gonna never start.
Okay.
But I always was friends with the guys that started, so that coach always kept me around.
Okay.
So I say all that because I do follow sports, and shout out to my man Money Walt down there in Florida, and we'll tie this in. So Walt.
Big up, Walt.
Walt is going to be get
He's
some
going
shine.
to be featured in our upcoming documentary Beyond Street Dreams.
Right. So and shout out to his son Brandon. So Walt's son, who had played at the University of Vanderbilt,
Okay.
ended up transferring from the University of Vanderbilt to Jackson State.
Okay.
The year he transferred to Jackson State was Deion Sanders and Sheduer Sanders' first year.
Okay.
When they made all that hype and noise because, big time, prime time was now coaching it.
Right.
Jackson pulled Mississippi down to Mississippi. And it was a big to-do, and of course
Right on.
he had a great season, and his son was just coming out of high school and had a big-time high school career.
Okay.
And so Walt's son was on Deion Sanders' Jackson State team.
Mm-hmm.
So me supporting Walt and being that I've known the boy since he was a child, I went to a couple Jackson State football games.
Okay.
And in fact, they had one, a classic game they were playing, Florida A&M, down at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
Okay.
And I mean, it was just, a Black Mardi Gras.
Oh, see.
So the amount of hype. So I kind of been following the Deion, and those of you who follow sports, Deion did his thing down at Jackson State for a couple years, got an opportunity to coach at the University of Colorado. He took the opportunity. You know, a bunch of people in our community felt one way or the other about him leaving the black school.
Right.
That ain't what we're here to talk about. So he goes to Jackson State. He takes both of his sons, Shiloh and Sheduer, with him to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And he then lands the number one recruit out of high school, this kid, Travis Hunter, who went on, of course, to win the Heisman Trophy at the University of Colorado.
That's what's up.
So fast forward all of that. Colorado had won one game prior to Deion getting there. Deion's first year there, they win 5 games. And then this past season, they win 9 games. They go to a bowl. He has the Heisman Trophy winner on his team. His son, Sheduer, is the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And they all go pro. Deion decides to stay in college, even though there were some rumors of him going pro to coach his son. He decides he's going to stay. University of Colorado gives him a nice bag to keep the thing going. He's got going there, right?
Okay.
So his son's going to go pro. All the analysts and everything say he's going to be like the number one player taken in the draft. Now, those who don't follow sports, bear with me. College athletes now can get endorsements and make money, which they didn't used to be. So unlike the we interviewed, shout out to Carl Martin.
Carl Martin, yeah.
Carl Martin, whose father was Ed Martin, who was the big booster, great book, The Booster, talking all about the Fab Five. That's the Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, DeJuan Howard situation up there at Michigan. Mm-hmm. And at that time, All-American athletes couldn't afford to buy pizza.
That's right.
Right?
That's right, yeah.
Well, modern day, Sheduer Sanders is like riding Lambo trucks. Him and his brother like bought a house for their dad. Mm-hmm. So he's become a very wealthy man prior to the old way of having to go pro to become a wealthy man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's an African-American young man, good-looking kid, speaks well, looks good, great on the field.
Right.
He's a product of his generation. You know, he wearing, probably $200,000 worth of jewelry every time you see him.
Okay.
He's riding Lambo trucks.
He's his father's son.
He's his father's son, and he's a 22-year-old guy with $7 million. That just made $7 million in 1 year. He's behaving like you would think. Right?
Yeah.
Well, he was supposed to go in the first round of the NFL draft. He didn't. He didn't go in the second round, the third round, the fourth round. He didn't go to the fifth round. So I was listening to...
You will never be bigger than the program no matter who you are. And they will show you. They will
this
always
is Chad
remind you
Ochocinco's
at any
clip.
given time, if at any point you think you are bigger than the program. And that is all we're seeing. That's all we're seeing right now. What it has always done is seek to diminish, to distort, to remind them and us that there is still a place for black folk. And it's not at the head of the table.
So I'll stop it there. So Chad spit on it. Because I heard a lot of people was calling me, texting me, kind of glowing, like, yeah, they showed Sheduer, they showed Deion, y'all too flashy. A lot of hating is what I chalked it up to be. But I thought Chad Ochocinco had some really good insights.
Mm-hmm. That
the Sanders family maybe is winning a little bit too much for the powers that be.
Yeah.
The NFL is the billionaires' boys club. What they sanction, and what they don't sanction, they don't sanction. Right? So if they want Kendrick Lamar to diss Drake and give him a platform, they will.
Right. And call him a PDF in front of everybody.
In front of a couple billion people on planet Earth.
And they all sing along with him.
And if you take a knee and you Colin Kaepernick, you'll never see a football again in your life.
That's right.
They get to decide, and it is what it is. I mean, it is their league, and they own the league. Those 30 gentlemen own the league, and those are some of the richest men on planet Earth that own the NFL teams. So I just wanted the black community, people in our community should first understand it's a business. if Sheduer would have won in the first round, he'd have probably been looking at about a $30 million guaranteed contract. It probably would have been a 5-year contract, $120 million, $30 million of it guaranteed. Boom, boom, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Way it's looking now, he's going to get a league minimum, rookie minimum, probably $1 million. He's going to take a significant pay cut for going pro. He would have made so much more money senior year at Colorado than he's going to make. And, you know, we talk about the system, Lou.
Yeah.
But as we were saying off camera, with the trajectory that he was on, his other brother didn't get drafted, but did get a contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His pseudo brother, Travis Hunter, got drafted very high, second. I think he was second player.
Okay.
But the Sanders family is on the precipice of becoming a financial juggernaut. Like, not nigga money, but real money.
Right on.
Right?
Yeah.
And in this great land that we live in, you got to we just have to, if you still of this complexion, to go from that, all of us are allowed to get nigga money. We don't need permission from the principal to get nigga money.
Right.
Y'all get to be on recess. Go out there, y'all figure it out, get y'all some nigga money. And principal ain't got nothing to say about that.
Right.
Y'all play, have at it.
Right.
But when y'all want truly generational ability to maybe, and with your expertise in athletics and your connections, next thing we know, you guys throw together as a family a couple $100 million years.
Right.
Now you want to start talking about buying teams. And then now you want a minority interest.
Yep.
Next thing we know, one of these other little leagues, the USFL or the Double XL, you're going to buy a team, and then you take some of your fancy friends, and you got a lot come when the man gets true, as my Caucasian friends say, F you money.
Yeah. Yeah.
This society we live in is very careful before it allows you to get FU money. Matter of fact, I don't know if there is a black man in America that has FU money. And the ones that it might be, you guys are probably not familiar with. Robert Smith owns a big equity company, Vista Equity. He's worth about $6 billion.
Yeah.
He could probably, if he never made another dime in his life,
Yeah.
and he probably got some generational wealth where if it all went away today,
Yeah.
he could just say, you know what? But it ain't that many.
Yeah.
Like LeBron ain't got FU money.
Yeah.
LeBron got, I'm allowed to live, and no shot at LeBron. LeBron's done, I'm very proud of what he's done. He's, I like him more as a man than as a basketball player. I've never been a big LeBron, but LeBron as a man and how he's handled his career.
Yeah.
No scandals.
Yeah. Classy.
Classy guy,
Yeah.
For where he come from. But I'm just saying, so we all of us, the little big boss to the biggest Jehovah, we all have some constraints still if we are looking to get money from the establishment.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I mean, you can just note the scandals and the teardowns and the.
Right. We
gonna get to that.
We gonna get.
I want everybody to understand you will never be bigger
So
than the
yeah,
program,
anyway.
no matter who you are. They will show you. They will always remind you at any given time if at any point you think you are bigger than the program, and that is all we see in.
None of us are bigger than the program.
None of us are big.
Because all I got to do is not say capping up the jive and say that H word, and they'd take away my $10 at the end of the month, and my $10 would go to $1.52.
As a guy who looks at all analytics and all the different no-nos that you get, it's a whole lot more than that H word that they constrain you to say.
Oh, you like right now, I mean, we talking like Negroes who be thinking about stuff, so we might get punished. So you 8 people who get an opportunity to see this, please enjoy it.
Yeah.
And last thing, Joe, just for an example, for you sports fans out there, Bob Greasy, Hall of Fame player, 2 Super Bowl champions. His son Brian Griese, he went to Michigan, had a great college career. Wasn't as good as his dad, but stayed in the league off his daddy's reputation, went into broadcasting. Phil Simms, great pro career, won 2 Super Bowls. His son, Prince Simms, goes to University of Texas, has a big-time college career. Wasn't as good as his dad. Got to stick around the league for a few years. Boom, gets a job in sports.
Right on.
Deion, big-time career, won 2 Super Bowls. Son has big-time college career. 5th round. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Right.
Traditionally, if Dad was a Hall of Famer, like I said, a Phil Simms or a Bob Griese, when Brian Griese, his son, comes along, you get the silver carpet because your dad paved the way. Phil Simms, son, you're a big time, you're a winner. Look at what you did for the league. Your son gets a free ride.
Yeah.
Deion did all the same thing for the league as those other guys. He's a Hall of Famer. Traditionally, his son was supposed to get the silver, the soft, easier way. But not so much.
Not so much.
As Chad is saying.
That's all we're seeing right now. What it has always done is seek to diminish, to distort, to remind them and us that there is still a place for black folk. It is not at the head of the table.
Until we own our own. To quote Billie Holiday before we switch it up, Mama might have, Daddy might have, but God bless the child
that holds his own.
Because until we own our own leagues,
Yeah.
till we own our own platforms, hey YouTube, it's only the truth though.
It's only the truth.
That's why we don't. I can laugh and I can mock it on that. Wish they'd be going to Patreon to see all the hot stuff we're doing over on
That's
Patreon.
right. Patreon.com/BigBossFilmworks. You can get yourself a free subscription. And we'll have some hot stuff for pay. And we'll have some hot stuff that you'll be able to chime in, look at.
Get Beyond the Street
Beyond Street Dreams.
Unindicted Co-Conspirator.
All
that.
that.
Holla at your mans and them.
All that. Big time.
And last little tidbit, sticking to our inaugural episode of Big Boss Filmworks Wide World of Sports.
Right?
Modern, updated version, how the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Mohammed. Okay, that's my best Howard Cosell song. You guys who are old enough will appreciate that.
Right.
There was
Big
a time
time.
that was the most synonymous hang tag in sports, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
That and he might go
all the way. The Immaculate Reception. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cosell was classic.
Oh, no.
They don't make him like Cosell.
Yeah, that's vintage, man.
But speaking of Hall of Fame football players, Mr. Sharp.
Ooh, Shannon Sharp. Yeah, he has been exposed in a scandal himself. Young OnlyFans girl, 19 years old.
Now, do we know her race?
No. Yes, this is a Caucasian. I believe. No, she is Latino. Fair complected Latino young lady.
So she's a Negro that speaks Spanish.
There you go.
She's a light-skinned Negro who speaks Spanish. But if you don't know no better, you might think
Yeah.
she's a
I mean, a lot of people look at her and they say she's a white girl, basically. But we know.
And now, what did they say to Shannon? Because she's 19, right? So
Right.
They make her grown.
Right.
Was she grown when this supposedly happened?
I mean, 19 years old when it's supposed. She's like 22 now.
Okay, so whenever her and Shannon did whatever she say, keyword, as reminders, because we here at Big Boss, although it is very popular and many people have made a mini coin. Hey, YouTube, tearing down men on certain platforms. Hi, YouTube. We don't do that. And as I reminded, Mr. Combs has not been found guilty of anything and is still incarcerated.
Right.
For allegedly being involved in some kind of sex activities. And wow, it seems like black men and having sex can get you in a lot of trouble. So back to Mr. Sharp though.
Right.
So she was an adult when supposedly her and Shannon did whatever she
Yeah,
upset him for doing.
It was some essay supposedly went down. Assault charges or whatnot. And
did she say that it wasn't as friendly of
Right.
interaction as she might have?
Right.
That things might have got.
There is a telephone call that has been recorded that they're playing back and forth, and it's just all over. Right now, it's just everywhere.
Now, see, I don't follow a lot of this stuff, but I mean, obviously, I don't live underneath a rock. So, is this the same case? Supposedly, his attorney or somebody did offer her a settlement or something.
It's basically a lot like the Jay-Z case, a whole lot.
You mean the one where he was exonerated, and now the girl who tried to sue Hove is being sued, and the lawyer that tried to sue Hove is now being disbarred?
This is
and
correct.
Whose case got dismissed?
Because his thing now, I believe they're trying to present a civil case before anything criminal. But, as we know, the civil could eventually lead into a criminal, case,
So this happened 3 years ago.
Yes.
And this young lady now. So all I can say, black men of any resources and of any media exposure, we live in dangerous times.
That they are.
This Me Too movement that I thought had gone away still seems to have some legs to it.
Very much so.
It seems to be a business model for a lot of people now, lawyers and young ladies, I guess in some cases, and young men, to get memories of things that happened years ago and say that I don't like what happened then, and I'm gonna get you for doing that. But I had just a thought. That Shannon Sharpe, everybody I think who got the internet saw the Shannon Sharpe Cat Williams interview. I think I believe it is like the most watched podcast ever.
No, I think that was the biggest YouTube video to hit YouTube.
YouTube, right? Like in the history
Period.
of YouTube, right?
Yes.
Period. So that's a big deal. So when you do that, I mean, because of that, people who didn't know Shannon Sharpe, again, I'm a sports guy. I've been following Shannon and his brothers all through college, all through his Hall of Fame pro career, all when he was at ESPN. But I know a lot of people who never knew Shannon Sharpe existed until that Cat Williams interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
A lot. I mean, he became a household name at that point.
And followed that up, and everybody, of course, he's been able to get everybody who's anybody on his Shay podcast, which I actually think he does a decent job interviewing people.
Yeah.
I mess with Shay.
Yeah.
I thought the interview he did with Monique after the Cat
Williams
was a great interview.
Yeah.
It's just funny with this going on. Monique is doing what Monique doing. She like, Shannon, baby, you need you an old fat bitch. Somebody gonna rub your feet, cook your neck bones, know how to cook a cake. Shannon, you don't need them young girls. You too old for that. They were having a good, mature conversation.
Yes.
But
yes,
there was some wisdom in what the sister was
yes,
trying
it was.
to tell.
Yes, it was. And I mean,
sometimes you got to stay in your lane.
Absolutely. And that's been a big point of media scrutiny, like all over around the board. Him being 59 and her at the time being 19. They just
it's a bad look in today's world.
In today's world.
In the normal world, in the old world.
The old world,
and I ain't talking about the old world like 1500, when 40-year-old men with 15-year-old girls was called normal. Don't judge me. I'm just talking history. I'm not saying that that's a good or bad thing. Please don't do me like that. Don't judge me. I'm just saying that historically until...
Don't make me hit the editing button.
Yeah. Historically... older men with younger women, older wealthy men,
right,
with younger women
that used to be a stable.
That's kind of how that went, right? The young pretty girls like to find older guys with a lot of money.
That is what I heard happened back in those days.
In those days, when you 59 and you with a 19-year-old though, you got to be more careful. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with it. Some 19-year-olds know more about life than a lot of 49-year-olds. And some 59-year-olds are sillier than some 19-year-olds.
Yeah.
But that was only 3 years ago, so the world was like it is now. That was probably a lapse in judgment. Just because the optics of it. Now, it's a shame that we live in a world where two grown people can't do what two grown people want to do, two consenting adults, without somebody end up being sued or being put in jail. But I just say, when you look just in the since before Puff and we went, this country's track record of building up black men to great levels of heights of prestige and prosperity, and then tearing them down. If you go back to Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, the Mann Act, white slavery, taking white women across state lines, that law was created for Jack Johnson. Paul Robeson, who was I don't even know if we have a black man with what Paul Robeson was. He was an All-American football player, All-American rugby player,
Right.
Broadway actor, movie. He was like, there was no black man like bigger than Paul Robeson, say, circa 1940.
Right on.
Next thing you know, they say he a communist. He talking too much about blacks getting rights, and he died broke, took away his, never could get another job. And obviously Muhammad Ali, guilty of saying the Vietnamese and yellow people ain't did nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go kill them people who ain't did nothing to me. Now you about to lose your belt, and it goes on and on and on and on and on.
And if you can think of some, drop them in the comments section.
Yeah, because the list is actually too long.
Yeah, we couldn't sit here and talk about how many of us have been torn down in one show.
There is a machine out there, and it is real. Mr. Illuminati, I done told you I know when to be quiet, so I'm not going to talk too much more about this Mr. Illuminati, because I know that I'm about this far from talking too much. So I swear to you, Mr. Illuminati, this show will be over within the next 4 minutes. But I'm just saying, Mr. Illuminati, that it seemed like sometime when black men get to certain levels and start making certain moves, it just seemed that like when Michael Jackson was talking about buying studios and wouldn't relinquish his rights to the Beatles, all of a sudden now he messed with kids. He got a problem.
Right.
Mr. Cosby started talking about buying CBS. And then something
when Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson kept telling everybody, own your masters.
Yeah, that master's talk, he wouldn't let it go.
Wouldn't let it go. When you put two and two together.
I'm just saying, it get janky, as they would say. It seemed like you get kind of janky.
Yeah.
Sometime when brothers get maybe out of the good graces of the machine. And that record-breaking podcast that Cat Williams did with Shannon Sharp, I could see how maybe some people in the machine said, "You're supposed to be on our team. You were supposed to run some interference and at least try to cross-examine and say, hey, Cat, that but you went along with it." So I'm not saying that's why this story came out, but it's just funny how we can get all the information about when these brothers do something. And Jeffrey Epstein, we can't find out who went to his house. That he got killed in a jail cell where the guards got sick and left, and the cameras all of a sudden stopped working. The list is gone.
Yeah.
And every rich whitey in the world was on some island with a girl. The oldest one was a cheerleader at 12 or something. Something of this nature.
Right.
But we can't get any. There's no information on that situation.
No. That's classified.
So I'm just saying, Mr. Illuminati, on that, we do thank you for another episode here at Big Boss Filmworks. Anything else popping?
No, check out Karen Knocks Out Cancer. Get
Yes.
that book on Amazon. My mother's 33-year defeat of cancer. She lived it, and she's brought her methods to you to give you a good guide on if you know someone with it, if you have gotten a diagnosis yourself, things you can do to help yourself. It's Karen Knocks Out Cancer 6-0, and it's on Amazon.com. Grab one.
Great book. True inspiration for the indomitable human spirit. And on that, also on Amazon is, of course, the book Motown Mafia, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid, wrote and produced by yours truly. And on Tubi, on Amazon, and on Pluto, Motown Mafia, the story of Eddie Jackson and Courtney Brown, award-winning documentary, produced by Mr. Stevens here and our colleague out there, Mr. Alan Bradley, a.k.a. Al Prophet.
Oh, yeah.
KK beeped at me. He was riding down the street the other day. You saw Brother KK there. Shout out to Big. Speaking of books on Amazon, go to, what's KK's site?
I can't remember the site, but I do know the name of the book, If These Bricks Could Talk.
Yes.
That's also on Amazon. If you check it out.
But I think they need to get it from KK.
I think what is
they need
it?
to get it from KK's site.
Yes.
What's the name of his Facebook hookup? He's doing some big things over there on Facebook.
Yes, actually, I just left them this morning, and they have an event that's going on May 31st. It's on a Saturday. Boots on the Ground, Detroit Boots on the Ground. If you're in the area, check out Eventbrite to get those tickets. They have a event going on right on 7 Mile Fish Fry. If you get your tickets, it'll be free fish all day long. So check out Eventbrite. You'll see the details. Detroit Boots on the Ground. That's KK Newell's event happening, and I've done quite a bit of videography and graphic work. And if you ever want to hit me up for that, hit me up in the DM.
Yeah. And anybody's ever been to any event that KK does, he always does it right.
Solid.
So
those reunions are killer, man.
I'm looking forward to that. Who else in the family got a great book? Bound by Honor, Torn by Greed.
There you go.
Brother Pep and Brother Skip's book, also available on Amazon. Great read. Brother Cavario's.
Yeah.
Raised by Wolves.
Halfway into that joint, boy.
Great book.
Oh,
great book.
Jeez.
Another Harlem legend, Kevin Childs, The Crack Era.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of we got, y'all. So we have to continue to support one another.
That's right.
The machine is not going to help us, any of us,
at all.
So I'm gonna keep pounding that drum. But it's a lot of great literature out there that people from our world have out that just really, if you're into this stuff, you don't have to be into this stuff. If you're just into good stories and some human experience and the ups and downs of life, any of those I just named are great reads and worthy of checking out.
And one more book, Getting Off Zero.
Ray Tatum.
Right, Money Right.
Facts.
Check that out on Amazon as well.
Yes, indeed. And shout out to Brother Ray Tatum down there. And shout out to Brother Rodney Allen over there. You guys are looking for, speaking of, some different type of content on YouTube. Intellectual podcast. Rodney Allen out of Chicago. Brother working on his PhD. Comes out the gang life of Chicago, and it's just on such a different trajectory, and just shows you that just because you be on the block, maybe doing what you're doing, that within inside of us, there's so much potential in our talent in our community. So yeah, intellectual podcast. He interviews some brothers and sisters doing some amazing things. Brother Rodney's doing some amazing things, but he knows both sides of the street. He knows the block and he knows the boardroom. If you guys are online, check out Chicago Intellectual Podcast.
Right.
All right.
We got something hot cooking over on Patreon. Head over there and check it out.
It's going down. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. Check us out on TikTok. Big Boss on all those platforms, right?
All day.
It's going down. We appreciate you guys. The channel, we just had to chime in. Didn't plan on being camera ready today, so excuse me if my makeup's not right. But I did want to chime in on this prime time and his son situation.
Yes.
And Brother Sharp, but I wish them all well. I hope Brother Shannon gets that. I hope that gets sorted out for him.
Yeah.
you know, y'all, we got enough brothers that taking L's. So,
I mean, one minute you're in graces, and the next minute you are getting drugged in the streets
well, because we still let other people have the hanger that can drag us.
all day.
Our judge and even then, you know. But anyway, we'll shut it down. I'm gonna leave y'all alone. I ain't gonna lecture y'all. But we good?
We good.
We good. It's your man, CRB Jr., Big Boss Filmworks. And this is a Motown Mafia special sports edition. We thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We are fighting the machine. It does really help. Every little bit help.
Yeah.
It helps the algorithm. It helps the stream. We want to keep giving you guys some good content. We want to do some traveling and doing some more things. We got some scripted content or projects coming up. So yeah, last thing, make sure you guys are hitting that like, share, and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. Love you guys. It's your man, CRB Jr., Big Lou Steven, Big Boss Filmworks. All day. We never worried about getting caught by the local or state authorities. Our fear was always federal conspiracy case. Not even really a possession case. You weren't going to catch us with it. If the local cops can catch you, you're not very good, because the only people the local cops catch are people who are advertising they're doing wrong. But you got to understand that the level Pop and them was playing at. They wake up in the morning thinking about how to get away with their hustle. They go to bed at night thinking about how to get away with their hustle. They spend all afternoon rehearsing and going over how to get away with their hustle. It's not a hobby.
Beyond Street Dreams. Documentary coming soon to Amazon Prime, Tubi, and Pluto TV.